everyone, it's Elena, and today I'll be sharing with you guys the universities I applied to, which ones accepted me and which ones rejected me. Now, I know there are some people who apply to like 25 universities or more, but my school didn't allow that because we had a rule that you could only apply to 10 universities in total. Now, there was one exception to that rule, and that was if you applied to the UK, because in the UK you apply to 5 courses and there's only 1 essay for them. So my school said that those 5 applications count as one. So I actually managed to apply to 14 universities by applying to 5 universities in the UK. Now, since I applied to universities all around the globe, I'm going to go through them country by country so that it's a little bit easier to have an overview. Now let's start with the United States because I was really planning on studying in the US, so most of my applications went to American universities. I sent an early action application to Yale University because Yale really was my dream school, but apparently I wasn't Yale's dream student because they deferred me and then rejected me. I also applied to Brown University, which waitlisted me and then rejected me. I also applied to the University of Pennsylvania, Dartmouth and Stanford, which all rejected me. Then I also applied to Colby College and Princeton University, which both accepted me, and Colby made me a really good financial aid offer. Like, if you're looking for a college which has great financial aid, Colby College is definitely a college you should apply to. Like, their financial aid offer was straight up amazing. Since Colby and Princeton are both partner schools of the Davis UWC Foundation, part of my financial aid would have come out of a Davis UWC scholarship. Now, Princeton's financial aid was like, okay, but, you know, it wasn't great. Let's just say it like that. Now, aside from institutions in the US, I also applied to NYU Abu Dhabi, and they invited me for a candidate weekend, which is where you get interviewed and they show you the city and everything, and the best thing, it's free. If you guys want to know about that weekend, I wrote an article about it on my blog and it's linked in the description box below. So yeah, that was an amazing weekend, and I actually did get admitted to the school and they offered me full financial aid, which was amazing. Like, I haven't heard of anyone who had a bad financial aid offer from NYU Abu Dhabi. Like, their financial aid is straight up like amazing. And I still have a bit of regret in me because I rejected their offer of admission, because honestly the school is pretty amazing. I also applied to a college in Singapore, Yale in US, which is a merger between the National University of Singapore and Yale University. I was admitted to Yale in US and they made me a pretty good financial aid offer, but there was a problem with that offer. The problem was that the offer for financial aid was tied to a commitment to work for the Singaporean government for a few years after graduation. And to be honest, I wasn't really ready to make that kind of commitment because I don't know if 4 years down the road I want to work for the Singaporean government or a company affiliated with it. So I was like, you know, I'd rather not do that and go somewhere where I'm not bound to a work commitment after graduating. And I also applied to 5 UK schools. Now, if you get admitted to a UK school, it's a little bit different than getting admitted to an American institution, because in the UK, they don't just say, oh, you're admitted, you can come in the fall. They say, you're admitted, but only if you get these grades. Oh, you cannot come in the fall. So that's why they're called conditional offers. And all the conditional offers that I'm describing here are offers based on IB grades because I was an IB student. Now, I applied to Durham University for law and they rejected me. Then I also applied to the University of East Anglia for law with American law, and they accepted me on a conditional offer, and they told me that I'd had to get a 34 in total, and the 4 in English and the 4 in maths. I also applied to the University of Aberdeen for law with German law, and they accepted me on the condition that I'd get a 35 in total and 555 in my higher level subjects. I also applied to the University of Warwick for law, and they accepted me on the condition that I'd get a 38 in total and at least a 5 in English. But even if I hadn't gotten the 5 in English, I could have made up for it by taking an English language proficiency test. And then I also applied to the University of Cambridge, which made me a conditional offer for law, and they told me that I'd have to get a 43 and 776 in my higher level subjects. And those are all the universities I applied to. I hope this helps some of you guys with deciding where you should apply to. And just a quick note on how I chose which universities I applied to. So I basically picked only reach schools in the US. Some of you may say that Colby is not a reach school, but to me Colby seemed like a reach school because Colby's acceptance rate is under 20%, and I was honestly not sure if I could get into Colby. So that's why to me it was a reach school. Now, I really wanted to study in the US, so I guess it wasn't the smartest decision to only pick reach schools in the US, because it could have happened that all those schools reject me. And that is not that unrealistic looking at their acceptance rates. So if you have a country where you really want to study, consider picking 1 or 2 safeties in that country. Now, for me, I was lucky because I got admitted to an American university, so, you know, I have the chance to go there actually, but you know, that wasn't sure based on my university list. So yeah, consider making a bit of a smarter choice than I did. Other than that, I applied to mainly reach schools rather than safeties. I know this is not what your university guidance counselor is probably going to tell you to do, but to me this was a smarter decision, because honestly, if you have a lot of dream schools where you think you're going to be really happy and you know the academics just fit what you want, then apply to those. Like, why would you apply to more safeties where you're like, yeah, I would be fine there, but it's not where I really want to be, rather than applying to all the places you really want to be and then have a higher chance that you get into at least one of them. So that's why I applied to only a few safeties and mostly reach schools, because I really wanted to end up at a school where I had all the things that I wanted and not settle for a safety school, which I would still be fine with, but I didn't really want to go to, if that makes sense. But yeah, some of you guys may want to take the safer road, which is totally fine, then apply to your safety schools. Just make sure that you are really happy with the list of schools you are applying to, because you don't want to have regrets a year down the road thinking, oh my god, I should have applied to that other school. And of course, you're really lucky if your school doesn't limit the number of applications you can send out, then you can apply to a lot of safety schools and a lot of dream schools. But if you do have to make a choice, like I did, then I would really recommend thinking about what is more important to you. Having the safe knowledge that you're going to get into your safety schools, or knowing that you might get into your dream school and that you aimed a little bit higher. So yeah, just think about that when you make your list, and good luck to everybody sending out their university applications this year. If you guys have any questions about my specific applications, feel free to drop them in the comments below or send me a message through my blog, which is linked in the info box as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!